Then he said to them all, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me."
To fellow followers of Jesus Christ, have you considered how we are called? To the point of thinking, what if that time comes and our lives will be put in the line? Bonum mane! Yesha here, hoping to prepare us when the time comes and our faith meant complete surrender. There was a 2018 Netflix movie entitled Apostle. It's about a former Christian missionary named Thomas Richardson saving his kidnapped sister on a mysterious island that worships a forced nature goddess. Watching that made me ponder about the disciples of Jesus and made me recall a Facebook post summarizing their torture and cruel death. The movie left me thinking about the prophets, martyrs, and the victims of evil, violence, and war. And of course, asking myself the questions, if I will be tested similarly, will I remain faithful? Will I continue to believe and trust God? What does it mean to believe? And how about you? What will your answer be?
Thomas, your sister, she's gone. These people, they're blasphemers. A cult, a disease. Bring her home.
The movie shows how the protagonist loses his faith in God. But despite him thinking he did, I did not lose. Because I believe that there's still love left in him. God is love. And to love is to seek and serve the highest good of others. Richardson said that God left him. He believes that the only one who's pure and who never left his side, especially during the difficult struggle he had with his faith, is his sister alone. That's why this time, when she needed rescue, he said that he would not leave her, and he promised to save her, whatever it takes. In his mind, he might have rejected God, but I believe that God never left his side. Why? Because apart from God, we can do no good. It is God who enabled the protagonist to save his sister, to free the suffering goddess, and to free the people trapped in the island, of which some are still silent believers of God. That same day of watching, I struggled to answer the question of faithfulness in the big point of life and death. For I know my sinfulness and weakness. And so I answered God honestly that I will only remain faithful if He will help me. For I am His after all. It is only by His grace that we are saved.
For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourselves. It is the gift of God, not of works, lest anyone should boast.
Then, the next day, I realized that there's a difference between that apostle in the movie and those in the Bible. That apostle in the movie, in his faith struggle, when he was being tortured and is about to be marked with a very large, hot, iron-shaped cross on his back, prayed and prayed for the Lord to save him, but God did not come. And so, he believed that God left him, and he lost his faith in God. On the other hand, in the Bible, let's quickly recall.
St. Paul said, "For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain."
Also, in the book of Daniel, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, who were about to be thrown and burned alive in the 10 times hotter fiery furnace, replied to the king,
O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you in this matter. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to save us from it, and he will rescue us from your hand, O king. But even if he does not, we want you to know, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the image of gold you have set up.
the difference between that apostle in the movie and those in the Bible is that apostle Richardson in the movie based his faith in the expectation that God would save him in that darkest hour, while Paul and servants of the Most High God in the book of Daniel based their faith in God's will and not on their need to be saved. The faith of Christ's apostles, Paul, Hananiah, Azariah, and Mishael, in my point of view, is complete because they were able to truly entrust their lives to God's will. They believe that God is God, the only one who gives life and can take it away, despite the people being used as instruments by evil to do such cruel things. True believers are ready to give it all to God and are willing to do so. Imagine being faced the same fate as Jesus knew that his hour is near, and he pleaded to the Father in his agony at the Garden of Gethsemane.
And he withdrew about a stone's throw beyond them, where he knelt down and prayed, "Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done."
That same human fear of losing your life, at the same time, the fear of failing God, if ever our weakness get the better of us, and we fall into the trap of turning our backs to God. How would have Jesus struggled and wrestled the same temptations, but in his case, on a much deeper and highest level of struggle for the sake of humanity.
Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends.
The real apostles have looked up to God and have joined God even in suffering. Indeed, God will always protect us as we're redeemed.
For the Lord, your God, is He who goes with you to fight for you against your enemies, to save you. Deuteronomy chapter 20, verse 4. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Psalm chapter 23, verse 4. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus chapter 14, verse 14. No weapon forged against you will prevail, and you will refute every tongue that accuses you. This is the heritage of the servants of the Lord, and this is their vindication from me, declares the Lord. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 17. They will pick up snakes with their hands, and when they drink deadly poison, it will not hurt them at all. Mark chapter 16, verse 18.
And Jesus also prayed for his followers that truly we are not exempted from the sufferings, but he asked the Father to keep us safe.
I will remain in the world no longer, but they are still in the world, and I am coming to you. Holy Father, protect them by the power of your name, the name you gave me, so that they may be one as we are one. John chapter 17, verse 11. My prayer is not that you take them out of the world, but that you protect them from the evil one. John chapter 17, verse 15.
Even if we may think that God abandoned us, do not be deceived. Remember what Jesus has assured us.
And surely I am with you always, to the very end of the age.
I have a question. Do you know what's the difference between trust and belief? Would you agree? Belief precedes trust. Belief is more an acceptance that something is true. Trust is more on reliance, choosing to depend on someone. Both belief and trust are not dependent on how much you know. For you can believe and trust even without fully knowing yet. What does it mean then to truly believe in God? Surely, to believe in God is not a life without suffering, nor the expectations of miracles or superpowers to save us, especially when we badly and desperately needed it. But to believe is to have faith even if we did not see. Do not lose hope, but to fully surrender to God's will and to continue unconditionally. Just as how God always unconditionally loves us and remains faithful to us. Please pray. See ya.
So with you, now is your time of grief, but I will see you again, and you will rejoice, and no one will take away your joy. John chapter 16, verse 22. I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us. Romans chapter 8, verse 18.